You're watching TV9 Digital. I am Adarsh Vepachedu. The demise of Karunanidhi has resulted in a sunrise on DMK with the rise of a sun in the form of MK Stalin. But that wasn't the case with AIADMK, which suffered the loss of Jayalalitha. The AIADMK, however, has put up a considerable fight in Tamil Nadu. So what next for AIADMK and its alliance with the BJP? To talk about this and also DMK's performance, I had a word with political analyst Uluganathan, and this is what he had to say. Let's just first talk about the AIADMK. What was it that really led to the downfall of the party? Was it loss of face in the form of Jayalalitha's demise? Was it internal party bickering? Or did the BJP simply weigh AIADMK down? What really went down for the party?
There are two, three reasons. One is an anti-incumbency factor. ADMK has been in power for the last 10 years. And the first part of the 5 years was ruled by Jayalalitha was in command. After Jayalalitha left, she passing away, it was Mr. Palanichami who took over, and he came into chief ministership by accident, not by choice. So it was Sashikala who put him up as a chief minister, and then he had performed credibly. But what led to AIADMK's dismal performance? I don't think we can call it dismal performance. It is expected. It was expected. But people wanted a change because AIADMK under Jayalalitha was a very disciplined party and all the ministers were answerable to her. Now, after post Jayalalitha, what happened was the cabinet was so independent, everybody was independent, everybody began to dictate terms, and Mr. Palanichami was at the mercy of BJP, and BJP also played a very key role in keeping the party divided. In the sense
So it
they
almost, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Rangan, it almost felt as if with the loss of demise of Jayalalitha, there was a sort of a vacuum that was created. There was a requirement for a tier one leader to be around, but that was not the case. So that seems to have really harmed the prospect of the AIADMK. So looking forward, what next for the AIADMK, and will we see a situation where there will be defections from the party, a lot of dissent within the AIADMK senior cadre especially, and at this crucial juncture, do you feel that someone like VK Sashikala should take over the reins? Because she has the money power, she has the caste power, we have discussed this time and again. So will she be that all important figure who will be able to control the AIADMK flock? And more importantly, what will be her equation with the BJP going forward, sir?
No, it all depends on how BJP dictates terms. Because all said and done, Edeppadi Palanichami has been under the control of BJP leadership. So Sashikala, even if Sashikala wants to come back to politics and tries to lead the party, it is not that easy because the majority of the ADMK cadre will not accept Sashikala as a leader. So there will be about 25% of the partymen will try to go with Sashikala, but not majority of them. And BJP might play a very crucial role in deciding how ADMK positions itself because they are allies in the election, and it all depends on what the BJP stand is, whether to admit Sashikala or to keep her away and then build the party again.
But again, in these elections also, do you feel somehow the BJP has weighed down the AIADMK and they would probably start reconsidering their alliance, their stand with the BJP?
No, BJP has never been a major force in Tamil Nadu politics, and BJP was riding piggyback on AIDMK. And fortunately, fortunately for BJP, they had a good state leader, Mr. Murugan, who was he's not a loud mouth or anything. He is a good man. And also they had somebody called Annamalai, who was a former IPS officer joining BJP. So BJP was trying to build up his base. As per the indications, they may win about 3 seats, even if they make, and one of the seats will go to a person called Nainar Nagendran in Nagarkovil, who has been a former minister under Jayalalitha and who has got a good image and he has got a good following. So BJP will get about three seats, and I don't think BJP has pulled down ADMK. It was whatever it is, the buck stops with Edeppadi Palanichami. He is responsible for whatever has happened. I think we shouldn't be blaming BJP because if you see, none of the major BJP leaders came and campaigned here except Modi came twice. Modi came
Only
twice.
twice.
Amit Shah kept away
Yes.
because of language issue. He didn't come. So it was only Mr. Modi who came, and he also concentrated only on Coimbatore, northern
Correct.
part of Tamil Nadu, where
Mm.
Kamal Hassan was key contestant. He is
Campaign.
winning
Yes.
the
Contesting.
Coimbatore.
Yes.
So I don't
Correct.
think we should blame BJP, but Edappadi Palaniswamy had single-handedly campaigned for ADMK, putting
Mm.
up his achievements and what he has done for the people of the state. But I think people wanted a change because DMK under Karunanidhi had done a lot for the people. So they
Mm-hmm.
expect Mr. Stalin to repeat it, and at the same time, they have not totally wiped out AIDMK. It is a good thing that ADMK is also emerging as a second major opposition party. So there will
Indeed.
be a good balance.
All right, all right. So good balance between the opposition and the leading party, which in this case would be the DMK. But talking a little more about the DMK itself, what do you feel seems to have worked in DMK's favor in this election? Going by the available data, DMK is doing pretty well in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, which is largely a fort of the AI-ADMK. Now, why is it that DMK seems to have made a foray into this particular AI-ADMK fortress? Is it something to do with the caste equation? I mean, south of Tamil Nadu is mostly another caste, and then you have a situation where the DMK is, AI-ADMK, apologies, is pandering to the Vaniers, who are mostly settled in the northern part of Tamil Nadu. So, is it a case of dissent in the southern part of Tamil Nadu going against AIADMK and in favor of DMK? How do you think the caste equation seems to have panned out, particularly in south of Tamil Nadu?
South Tamil Nadu, especially beyond Madurai, is
Okay.
dominated by a community called Mukulator. Mukulator is inclusive of Tevars, Kalars, and other backward OBCs. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this has always been a vote bank of DMK until Mr. Alagiri
Mm.
was expelled from ADMK. Alagiri was a southern Tamil Nadu commander for ADMK, and sorry, DMK, and Mr. Karunanidhi used him very well to mobilize the votes.
Mm.
When Stalin and Alagiri split, Alagiri is a former union minister and is brother of
Correct.
Stalin. So they had a family issue, and Alagiri was expelled. After that, the DMK lost the vote bank. Now coming to AADMK, Jayalalitha utilized that very cleverly. She was able to get that vote bank to AADMK in the last election, and
Mm-hmm.
they were supporting him. Now what has happened is Mr. Dinakaran seems to have split the AADMK votes because he formed a party, and remember if last time he contested from Madras, RK Nagar, which was Jayalalitha's constituency. This time he went and contested from Kovilpatti. Kovilpatti is in the southern Tamil Nadu, which is part of Tirunelveli district. Kovilpatti is now become a district. That
Mm-hmm.
is where the caste vote, lot of caste vote is there. And
Okay.
Dinakaran has paid a spoiled sport, and he seems to have taken away at least 1% of the 1 or 2% of the caste vote from ADMK, and that has cost ADMK badly.
All right. All right. Urganathan sir, coming to DMK's performance in the Chennai city and also the Chennai region, it seems to have retained its stronghold. There is no disturbance whatsoever. It has almost more or less increased its lead also against the AIDMK in almost all seats. But there is a setback in Harbour constituency where DMK heavyweight Shekhar Babu has lost. Nonetheless, they've maintained the grip on Chennai. So, what would you have to say about the way DMK has held its position and the fact that AIADMK has not been able to do much in Chennai?
Chennai has always been a bastion of DMK. If you see,
Correct.
all the three MPs are from DMK. The present
Mm.
MP is Muslim Maran, Dayanidhi Maran, and we have two more MPs. All of them are from DMK. And
Yes.
Karunanidhi himself contested twice from the Harbour constituency.
Yes.
And Mr. Stalin has contested from Kolattur, which is within Chennai. So DMK has used all its resources and mobilized
Mm.
the voters from Chennai, uh, keeping showing their performances there. And when Mr. Stalin was a mayor of Chennai, he has done
Mhm.
quite a lot for the city. If you
Right.
remember, he was mayor for 2 terms, and that is the time nearly 17 flyovers came up in Chennai. And he also
Mhm.
set up he also set up a drinking water plant, sea water, what you call the desalination plant, two
Okay.
plants near Chennai with the help of Singapore, some company in Singapore. And Stalin had done that, and also he also had an ambitious plan to, to renovate that Kuam River. Kuam River was almost become like a gutter. So he had big plans, and Stalin had maintained close touch with the party cadre and also the people of Chennai. Jayalalitha won from RK Nagar because Jayalalitha was a towering figure, and then at that time DMK did not put up a strong candidate. So DMK has always been strong in Chennai, and it is no surprise that even I think they will win all the 10 seats, including the Harbour. I think the Harbour seats, the difference is only a little. But it was wrong on the part of BJP to think that by fielding Kushbu in 1,000 lights, they can
Yes.
get votes, because Kushbu being a Muslim, Thousand Lights is a Muslim-dominated constituency.
Correct.
So they wanted to use her Muslim background as well as the film actress, as well as BJP.
It was indeed a close contest in Thousand Lights. Nonetheless, it was a tight race.
No, it will not. BJP will not make it. But the only thing is that there is Mylapore. Again, Mylapore is a Tinagar. Mylapore is a Brahmins dominated area. So that is one area where BJP was banking upon. But I think DMK has swept all their seats, and DMK has a very strong presence in Chennai.
Indeed, indeed, and that is really out there for the people to see. But what about parties like AMMK? Candidates, players like TTV Dinakaran. What about their political future? They seem to have been reduced to non-players, especially. And what about someone like Kamal Hassan, the MNM? What about the future of these kind of parties? Are alliances one way to go forward in Tamil Nadu politics?
No, as far as Dinakaran is concerned, it was a big setback for him when Shashikala moved away and said she is not going to be in politics. So he was banking very, very heavily after she was released from prison that he will go around and campaign for him. And he was hoping to get at least 10 seats. Because if she had gone around campaigning in Tanjavur, where, the Kaveri Delta, where there is a lot of the color vote, they might have managed to get about 5 or 6 seats. But she stayed away, she kept away. According to sources, she was told not to involve herself in electioneering by the BJP, which was not confirmed. But Dinakaran's political future is in big question mark, because I don't think he will be able to rise and come back, because he has had a bitter fight with the AIDMK headed by Palaniswamy. So AIDMK will not admit it. But AIDMK might admit VK Shashikala. Shashikala might come in and take over AIDMK, but minus Dinakaran. Dinakaran will be marginalized, sidelined. As far as Kamal Hassan is concerned, he has been building his party slowly, and he did a vigorous campaign. So last Lok Sabha election, he got about 3% of votes. This time we have to see what percentage of vote that he gets. So if he gets about more than 5 to 8%, then he will be an important political force.
It's a job well done.
Yes. In future, he will be an important political force, because at some point of time, he may emerge as an important opposition to DMK, like Vijaykanth.
An alternative, a third alternative, if we were to call it.
Vijaykanth won 28 seats and became the major opposition party for Jayalalitha those days. So Kamal Hassan, I think, will, and it's a good thing that he kept away from the major national parties and he didn't have any alliance with them.
Indeed.
He went on his own and tested his strength.
MK Stalin has big shoes to fill and DMK's image that needs to be changed. We'll keep a close track of how he governs. If you've liked the content that I've presented, make sure you like and share this video. And yes, subscribe to TV9 News on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time.